the old blanket arrangement trick that keeps beds warmer than modern bedding. Before we begin, if you're drawn to forgotten knowledge, practical secrets, and the quiet science hiding in everyday life, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because some of the most powerful ideas aren't new, they're old and almost erased. Here's the mystery. Why did people sleep warmly in drafty stone houses, without central heating, without electric blankets, without modern duvets? How did families endure winters during the Little Ice Age, when temperatures dropped dramatically across Europe? And why does a nearly forgotten blanket arrangement often feel warmer than today's thick, high-tech bedding? The answer isn't about buying something better, it's about layering differently. Modern bedding, you know, promises all sorts of efficiency, higher TOG ratings, engineered fibres, down alternatives, the works. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most duvets rely on thickness alone. And, well, thickness isn't the same as proper thermal control. See, heat escapes in 3 ways: conduction, convection, and radiation. Modern duvets mostly slow conduction, that's just heat passing through material. But the old blanket method, it focused on something more important. Convection. That's all about air movement. Warm air rises, cool air sinks. If air circulates freely around you at night, warmth disappears, even under a heavy blanket. Stop the airflow, and you change everything. For centuries, all across northern Europe and colonial America, beds weren't made with just one thick covering. They were built in layers, deliberately ordered, mind you. A linen or cotton sheet closest to the body, a wool blanket above it, sometimes a second wool layer, and then a heavier quilt or coverlet on top. But here's the crucial detail. Each layer was tucked tightly under the mattress, individually, not loosely draped. This created multiple sealed pockets of still air. And still air is honestly one of the most powerful insulators on Earth. Not the fabric itself. It's the air trapped inside it that does the real work. Wool wasn't chosen for tradition. It was chosen for physics. Wool fibres are crimped and irregular, forming tiny air chambers. Even when they're compressed, they keep their structure. Unlike many synthetic fills, wool also manages moisture, pulling dampness away while staying warm. There's a reason colder regions like Scotland and Norway relied on wool bedding for generations. It wasn't nostalgia, it was thermodynamics. See, modern duvets often collapse into a single insulation chamber. When you move, warm air escapes from the sides, and cold air replaces it. The old arrangement created something different. A thermal staircase. Heat rose from the body and passed through successive air barriers. Each layer slowed the transfer. Each barrier stabilized temperature. Now, this is the detail most people miss. The tuck. Each layer was secured firmly beneath the mattress along the sides and foot of the bed. This, you see, prevented cold air from circulating upward from the edges. stopping those convective loops where warm air escapes and cool air sneaks in. A loosely draped duvet, well, that allows airflow. But tightly tucked layers, they seal a microclimate. You're not just covering yourself, you're enclosing heat. Bedrooms in the 18th and 19th centuries were often unheated. During the Industrial Revolution, many homes still lacked central heating systems. Yet, historical diaries rarely describe freezing in bed. Cold mornings? Yes. Frost inside windows? Absolutely. But once layered and tucked? Warmth? Because warmth was engineered, not fluffed. Folks back then understood that controlled air is warmer than just piling on bulk material. These days we prioritize speed. One fitted sheet, one duvet. Done. It's efficient to make, easy to wash, but honestly, it's thermally simplistic. Duvets shift, edges lift, air gaps form. Warm air escapes during the night, especially when you turn or adjust. With the old system, layers worked independently. Too warm? Just remove the top quilt. The lower insulation stayed put. Too cold? Add another wool blanket without disrupting the entire structure. It was modular insulation, you see. The same principle mountaineers use when layering clothing. Spacecraft don't rely on one thick insulator. They use multiple thin layers separated by air gaps to prevent heat loss. The logic is simple. Separate the air, slow its movement, trap it in stages. The old blanket arrangement applied the same principle in the bedroom. Long before central heating made thermal efficiency seem less urgent. Here's how to recreate it. Start with a breathable cotton or linen sheet. Add a wool blanket. Add a second lighter wool layer if needed. Tuck each layer tightly under the mattress sides and foot. Finish with a heavier quilt or coverlet, also tucked. No loose draping. No single oversized duvet. Build compartments of still air. Give it a few nights. You may notice the warmth feels steadier, less stuffy, less dramatic temperature swings. And when you wake in the night, you're still warm. Why did it disappear? Convenience replaced craft. Mass production favoured one-piece bedding. Marketing favoured thickness over structure. Central heating reduced the urgency of precise insulation. But energy costs are rising and, well, many people still complain about feeling cold at night. Is it possible? We traded quiet efficiency for simplicity. A linen sheet, wool layers, tucked edges, still air. It isn't glamorous, it isn't high-tech, but it works with the laws of physics instead of against them. Tonight, when you pull back your duvet, consider this. Is thicker truly warmer? Or did generations before us quietly master something we abandoned? Try it. Test it. Observe the difference, and if you enjoy uncovering forgotten solutions hiding in plain sight, subscribe. Because sometimes the future of comfort lies in the past.